It's top tier Jasmine Allure, and if you want to have an alluring time, you better watch Countdown City WrestleCast.
What is up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to a very special episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me this week is Tommy.
Hello, that entrance shows up way too much, by the way.
And we got Mike.
What's up, guys? Big Mike here, halfway through the tracks here in 2023. And the big question tonight, which celebrity are we most excited to see?
Yes, we're talking because we do have a special guest joining us. We have Bob Wills, the head honcho CEO of the Superhero ComicCon and Car Show. I don't know how many other job titles we have. The head man in charge. Which one do you prefer? Whichever.
Hold on.
Yeah.
El Jefe.
El Jefe. That's a good one. Yes.
There you go. Yeah, I like it.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to talk a little bit later on about Impact Against All Odds. We'll talk about Mission Pro True Colors. But this man right here, his car show made a couple of announcements last week, mostly on the wrestling side of things. Of course, we're talking about MJF, AEW World Champion MJF coming to San Antonio. Former TBS Champion Jade Cargill also coming to San Antonio as well. So, Bob, wanted to, first off, thank you for being on the show. We do appreciate you joining us. I know you're very busy as you got less than a month to go before this big event takes place. So, first of all, I guess you can let us know. My biggest question is, how were you able to pull this off? Because I don't know how familiar you are with MJF, but the dude, his character can be a bit of an asshole. So I just want to know how that negotiation went to get MJF to come to San Antonio.
Well, money talks and bullshit walks. And
Greatest response.
Yes.
And Jill, you know,
Yeah.
she's a Texan.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, I would tell you that given their stature in the AEW, and given what we have going on at our Comic-Con of the biggest talent lineup in America, it's not in San Diego where you can't meet them for autographs and photographs. It's not in New York. It's in San Antonio. I mean, Andrew Garfield, never done a Comic-Con. So the Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing.
We got Scarlet Witch. She hasn't done a Comic-Con since before Avengers Endgame. So you're talking about 5 years. So she said WandaVision. She said Doctor Strange. Then we got Haley Steinfeld, who, if you saw the Across the Spider-Verse this past weekend, #1 movie in the world. It's the #1 movie of the year as far as the opening week numbers. And who else we got there? We've got, I'm just going to go through. Yeah, there you go. Brie Larson. We got Captain Marvel. And then, of course, for the first time ever, Amelia Clark and Kit Harington from Game of Thrones at the same place. They've never done a show in America together.
That is awesome. That
I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah.
You put that lineup together, and guess what? It was very appealing to both Jade and to Mr. Troublemaker.
Yeah, that's a good name for him. That's a perfect name, actually. Yeah, there he is.
It's amazing when I look at the comments where we announce them and everything, and people are, you know, talking about, yeah, you're going to pay money so he can insult you. I can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen the TikToks? Like, you have to know by now that's the experience. My wife is a big fan of MJF. She's like, I can't wait for him to insult me. That's the thing she's looking for.
But I tell you what, it's a line around the convention center waiting for that to happen.
And he's only there for 4 hours on Friday, right? From 1
Actually,
to 5. 5? Okay.
So it hasn't been announced.
Okay.
But speak to your audience. He'll be there from 11 to 4.
Oh.
Okay. Nice.
On Friday. and Jade is going to be there from 3 to 8. So the crossover hour is where we're going to have a dual panel with the two of them together.
Nice. Oh, MJF on a panel.
Oh,
that's
man,
just gold.
He'll be up on
that's
the
great.
stage in front of
But the good thing, if there's a few people that won't take guff from him, I'm pretty sure Jade's not going to take guff from him.
No, she won't.
As the
No.
only person next to him, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
I don't think Texans will take guff from him.
No.
No.
Well, yeah. Bob, growing up, how big of a wrestling fan were you? Is this something you got into, watched as a kid, or is this something that's kind of come later on? Yeah.
Good question. I
Yeah.
don't know how you guys got that, but I grew up in the Northeast in Western Massachusetts, up in the Berkshire Mountains, and we had to get a signal. We were the first place to ever have cable TV. It really wasn't cable as we know it. It was called wired TV. You had a signal that they had to boost. We would get stations from New York. We'd get stations from New York City. We get stations from Albany, New York, and we get stations from Springfield, Mass. We were up in the bottom of the valley of the mountains between New York and central Massachusetts. And so, you know, for me to watch was Channel 11 out of New York, I would watch wrestling. You know, they had a half-hour show, and this was, you know, back when Andre the Giant, Dusty Rhodes, Billy Graham Superstar, you know, there were all these guys back then. It was really, you know, the dawn of wrestling. And then, I don't know, maybe one of my favorite characters was George the Animal Steel.
Yeah.
He used to chew on the turnbuckle in the corner.
Classic.
Do you have any memories of the Iron Sheik? I know he very, very recently passed away, so that's
I had seen him wrestle.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't like one of, you know, I wasn't a diss fan of his, but I wasn't a fan. But you know, and it's really funny because back then, if you know, you're talking to an old man here. And I see somebody just said, so Bob is part of my era.
Yeah. There's Jason right there.
This guy, it was common almost every Saturday night. You were seeing almost all the same wrestlers. It was very common. There wasn't all these different divisions and international champions and U.S. champion and world champion and champion. I mean, there was, you know, the top guys. So this is, you know, there wasn't WrestleMania hadn't come along and some of the other titles, but you know, it was, you know, this was pre Vince McMahon taking over.
This is still the territories, like his dad was running New York, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
but it was, you know, it was on TV, and you know, wrestling's been a part of TV for a long, long time, and wrestling's certainly been a part of the Hispanic Mexican culture. So, you know, it's, you know, I'll tell you, back in it was 96 or 97. One of my other businesses is an advertising agency, marketing firm. I worked for Vince McMahon to bring. There was a time when it was after trouble and things weren't going as well in the World Wrestling Federation that they weren't going to big buildings anymore. They were going to small venues, and they wanted to see if they could bring back. And so we brought Royal Rumble to the Alamo Dome, and I told him we would fill the place up, and we had 64,000 people, you know, in the Alamo Dome.
Mike and I were on the floor, by the way. That we were.
So you got the gift we gave you. You got to leave with your chair.
Oh, we didn't get that good of a ticket.
We were
You know, we were still in high school.
I'm talking
You
to
know what
amateurs
you're
here.
talking about.
Look, hey, those seats were $200, which is a lot of money for high school kids at the time. We were the section behind that, so it was only $13, but it was worth the money.
I'll tell you, I got those tickets because I had a subscription to the WWE magazine at the time, and they had like a special deal in there. We were just behind those, but we saw those.
I can walk over to my garage right now and get a chair if you want me to show it.
That was the first like big live show I've ever been to, and I would love it. You know, that's ingrained in my brain.
Incredible.
You know? It was.
To see 2,500 people walking out of the Alamo Dome with their chair.
Well, we rode the Via back to Park and Ride. They were on the Via too. So yeah, those chairs, people riding with the chairs. And I was one of the biggest memories is when Sean got the pin at the end. I swear it was like being at a Spurs game in the Dome all over again, just loud. It was almost. I think the only time I'd ever heard that it was louder, not that I was there, but from what I've heard, was the Memorial Day Miracle when Sean Elliott hit that shot in the '99 playoffs for sure. So yeah.
Well, I don't know. It might have been loud when those water cannons were going off.
They were kind of loud, but yeah.
People down the front row say, "My Louis Vuitton is." You know, they. There's a story about that they paid 15,000 insurance claims without vetting them, and there was no way that there was 15,000 people in that area right there.
Wow.
But sort it all out. They just paid all the claims.
Man.
Wow.
That makes you wish I had a ticket to that game. Yeah, I was nosebleed, but I still got wet. So, how much have you kept up with wrestling over the recent years, especially with AEW coming about now? You know, it's with WWE's has some competition now. Obviously, you're bringing MJF and Jade Cargill in. How much have you kept up with what AEW's been doing?
Well, you know, as we're getting into this year, here's what you have in wrestling, and it's really on the WWE side, is as far as the appearances, kind of a post-COVID, I don't know, tragedy or casualty. The appearances, they laid off all their appearance division, you know, people going out. Because when I brought in Becky and Daniel Bryan, and there's 3 or 4 of them we brought in '99. They had a woman that ran the appearances, and they traveled out with them, and they had a division. And, you know, when COVID came along and they weren't doing even shows. Remember, I think they're broadcasting from Florida down there.
Right.
They got rid of all the teams. And now when they came back, they sold all the appearance rights to, what's his name? Fetterman. There's a guy out of Houston. And so if anybody appears at a show, they go through him. He doesn't charge for them coming. He keeps all the money. And he paid millions of dollars for that.
Wow.
So that's kind of a sad thing. So when we were looking at this year, I started watching more and more of the AEW. And if you're familiar with what happened in the last 7 days, you look at the merger that PGA Golf just merged with Live Golf, the Saudi Golf League that they started. And I wouldn't be surprised if WWE and this product merges. You know, there's a lot of talk that the WWE has been trying to get MJF to come over to them.
And a lot of that comes from him himself.
I think he is teased on live television too, let me tell you. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, and you know, I was out there watching the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight, and saw some promos. You know, they got that new series that's called Collision. That's going to be on Saturday nights. So, you know, I'm not a total useless guy that doesn't pay attention to it. And we look at people. You know, hey, look at Jill is 60-1.
Yeah.
Name me any level of competition that you can go 60-1. She had to get beat, 2 weeks ago, but they believe that, I've been told, they think that she'll be champ again before she arrives to us.
Oh, I think really interesting. I mean, what is coming up between there? I don't know if they have any big pay-per-views, Dynamite, Collision, maybe a Collision show they got coming up.
Collision.
Yeah. I mean, the main belt has been kind of going back and forth between Hayter and Storm, and kind of in the middle of that Outcast Britt Baker story.
Yeah.
So she just lost the TBS, which was supposed to be their secondary, but if she wants to pop right back up into that main title scene, they strapped a rocket to her, and like you said, she's 60-1. They think she's going to be a big star. Clearly, she kind of has become a big star. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't bet against it.
I remember the other two things I'll tell you. Number one is a comment, and the other one is a story. The other person we had 99 was the Miz. That was we had at the show. Now
2019, you mean 2019?
When you go back to the Royal Rumble that we had, and the funny thing was, and there was a female manager, and I forget who the wrestler she was over. She was a very attractive but short gal, but she smoked cigars. Do you remember?
Marlena, she was a Gold Dust.
Yeah. Yep, that's who it was.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And the funny thing was when they fight and got outside the ring, and she took her cigar and she threw it down, and it kind of went under the apron. When the night ended, it was over. I mean, and I'm sitting right there, right in the front row, in the middle of the ring, and there must be 30, 40 people come running over, crawling under there so they could come out with their cigar.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then here, Mike, I thought we were bad because we were just getting googly-eyed over Sonny making a quick appearance, but we weren't that level. Yeah. So So.
Well, when you sit down there.
Yeah.
On the telecast.
Yeah.
What's interesting is the conversation between the wrestlers while they're wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So you pick up a lot of shows.
There's I guess there would be an app for that time called Choreograph Assist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's an art. It's amazing how they do it, So
yeah.
Now getting back to what you have coming up, does MJF have any special rules for fans coming up for autographs, photo ops, that sort of thing that he's got going on? Has he made a list of demands to you?
No. It's just basically, hey, realize that I may sign for something from somebody, and I'll throw it on the floor.
Yeah,
that's the way it is. And if you read a lot of the comments of the fans that said something, I'm going to get 3 autographs, and I expect them to throw them on the floor.
Was that strange to you when you kind of started seeing some of this?
Yeah.
I mean, as bringing so many people, just celebrities and stuff, fans, are in awe of them and can't wait to meet them, and here just a bunch of wrestling fans I can't wait for him to be mean to me.
Yeah,
that kind of strange at first.
Well, it's going to be if they do something. If he does, imagine if somebody come up there with a bobblehead and they want to sign it, and then he rips the head off of it and destroys it.
Yeah,
I don't know how they're going to react. I mean, is it they're going to be happy to go home and get some super glue and say, hey, this bobblehead was officially torn in half by MJF.
If they get it on video, it would probably still sell. That's the scary part. If they record him doing it, they could probably still get a lot of money. Collectors would still be like, I'll buy it from you literally right now.
It would be on eBay the next day.
Right, Tommy.
Yeah. I do have to ask this, though. You're still a wrestling fan from your younger days. Who would be your dream wrestler to make an appearance on one of your shows? If not this year, but in the future.
Well, we had Hulk Hogan last year.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was probably one of the 3 most influential wrestlers, along with Stone Cold and then arguably for somebody else. But it was kind of sad to see the shape he's in. He has to walk with a cane. And but he was great with the fans. Mm-hmm. He still, his muscled physique was incredible. Not that he could wrestle.
Yeah.
Knocked to the ground, I'm not sure he could get up because of his knees. And hey, I've had a knee surgery and hip replacement surgery. I know what it's like. And the way those guys were getting banged and jumped on and kicked, you name it. I mean, it's not the same as UFC, but it's damn close because the UFC guys really don't fight. Their careers are not that long. How long was Hulk Hogan jumping off of the ropes and getting knocked out of the rings, getting whacked around and just all pounding.
At least 20 years, at least.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah,
He started in the late 70s, early 80s. Went well into the early 2000s.
I want to say almost to the early 2010s because he had one last match with Sting, I believe, and so his final match was with Sting, and I was thinking that might have been 2010, 2009, I think.
And his finisher was a leg drop, which if maybe today people are like, oh, it's just a leg drop, but for him, that was falling on his ass every night, dropping that leg over and over and over. That can be good.
All right, I'm going to test you guys for a second.
Oh boy.
What fictional character did Hulk Hogan play that would be most like MJF?
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Let's see. There was Thunder Lips in Rocky 3.
There you go.
You know what? That's it. Yeah.
I just had to look at Mike. I didn't like to get this.
Taking, and then afterward, when it's all over, and they say, "Hey, you mind if I get a photo with you?"
Yeah.
It was like from one extreme to the other. I just loved.
Yeah.
That he was really a showman.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely,
sure.
Absolutely.
The biggest difference is I think MJF is like that all the time. It's never it turns off. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the green room just like.
Well, I'm waiting to see what it's like in the green room.
Yeah.
Bob, can we have you on afterwards?
I was just going to ask that. We got to get a post show.
I want to know if he steps up to Kit Harington. I want to know how he, if he's try something. Game of Thrones.
I should be the king beyond the wall.
I want to see him hitting on the female celebrities.
Don't get caught up in costumes on Game of Thrones that are all padded with fur.
Yeah.
It's just like you see some of these guys from all the times in the green room. Mm-hmm. And most actors are men and women are very small, short folks.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see if he's got any fan favorites or people he admires, or does he stay in that role all the time?
Yeah, I mean, if a picture of him and Andrew Garfield shows up on social media, well, I'm just curious to see if they're going to be flipping each other off or something like that.
or he flips off Andrew Garfield will be like, what am I doing?
Yeah, amazing MJF, yeah. So
he'd be the one to be like, you know what, Andrew, you are my third favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He would too. He really would. He really would.
I'm happy for Andrew because he's a Renaissance man after.
For sure.
With No Way Home, with all the Spider-Men in there, and the most you guys know this because you're pretty much on pop culture, but the most what's the right word I want to say, the dollar value of any comic book or superhero is Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Sony's never released it. There's been more Spider-Man movie than anything, the success that they had with they're having right now with Across the Spider-Verse. I expect that what's going to happen. There's going to be an Amazing Spider-Man 3.
I was about to ask you. I mean, even before No Way Home, I told people all the time, Andrew Garfield's version of Peter Parker in the Amazing Spider-Man movies was so underrated. I felt like he was the most comic accurate, and everyone craps on those movies, even though I thought they were pretty good. And I was about to ask you if you think, what's that?
Okay. There's a rule if you're a sports coach or actor trying to play another role is never follow a legend. And Tobey Maguire was first, and he was a legend. And he, brought that character to life. And everybody was, and it took Andrew as being the buffer, and then they did a great job with Tom Holland.
Right. No. So you mentioned you were answer my question. I was going to ask you, should he get a third movie? And I'll follow that up. Who should the villain be if he gets Amazing Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, that's a good question, though.
I already know my answer. I want to see.
And I'll do it. I was reading an article tonight about Chris Evans and the money, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Yeah. Chris Evans got paid $10 million for that. What did he get for the first Captain America?
Maybe like
Not even
2
half
million,
that, I
2,
imagine.
Yeah, I was
4.
gonna say, wasn't even half that, I think.
Yeah.
Only $300,000.
Golly.
Dang! Yeah.
And then he started going up as then Civil War, he got 15 million. He
I
got
believe it.
15 million in Infinity Wars, and then he made something like 48 million for Endgame because of all the incentives and overrides and things like that.
Yeah. Amazing.
But it doesn't touch what Robert Downey Jr. made.
Oh no.
Oh no, not remotely close.
I know we're not talking about wrestling, but there was only one person in the entire cast of Avengers Endgame that actually saw the entire script of the movie. Like they didn't trust Tom Holland. So they
no, for sure it's not Tom Holland. Yeah.
He had loose lips.
Yeah.
Was it Robert Downey Jr.?
I would assume it would be
Robert
him.
Downey
Then.
Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would
yeah.
have to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Robert Downey Jr. and the Russo brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, RDJ kind of had to see the whole script because honestly, I still hold it up to this day. Had Iron Man 1 not been the success it was, I really don't think you would got the whole MCU. Like, not at all.
Yeah. No. I mean, obviously, if that movie doesn't succeed, we're nowhere near where we're at.
I'm being fact. Yes.
Really? Well, are we talking about Saw for script, or Doctor Strange just saw all those 14 million whatever versions?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
and that's what
did
thought.
he
Yeah.
see it or did he like read?
Nice going there, Brian.
Yeah. Back to my question.
Trying
Then,
to
if they
make you
do,
look bad, Brian.
if they do a third Amazing Spider-Man, I hope it's Venom, and I hope it's Tom Hardy's version of Venom to be opposite Andrew Garfield, because I think that would be very
I
interesting.
think
in
that would be
Amazing Spider-Man
fun
3.
if they could
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
That'd be great.
All right, Bob. Any other surprises you got in store for us? Or we wait and see? Anything you want to drop on the show for Superhero Comic-Con, or is this pretty much it? Has everyone been announced?
Well, I've told people based on the attendance and the amount of photographs and autographs that we're doing is that Saturday is going to sell out. There's a lot of people that bought photo ops and autographs on Saturday, but they haven't bought their tickets. They better buy their tickets. They may have a photo op and they can't get into the grounds because they're going to get sold out. But there's still a lot of good opportunities with many of the celebrities. The way we've curated the show, you've got a bunch of big stars like Elizabeth and Brie Larson who are there Friday, Saturday, and then we've got other people that are like Andrew, Haley Steinfeld, are Saturday, Sunday. So, and then of course we have Amelia and Kit on Friday, Saturday. So there's going to be a lot of sharing and crossover. The amount of people that have bought all 3 days is amazing. And I'll tell you this, we have, when you talk about America's show in the summer season, we have people that have bought tickets from all 50 states and 11 countries.
Ooh, wow.
Amazing.
That's
awesome.
crazy. That's so cool.
That's huge.
And it's we've always known that the summer position was a good place to be because San Antonio, if you take the middle of the country, if you eliminate the states that are on the West Coast and the states that are on the East Coast, everything in between, let's say the creamy white center of the Oreo, from Canada all the way down to Mexico, San Antonio is the most visited summer destination city. And so, we have a lot of people coming here. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. We've had to thank you, Brian. The lineup is wild.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's simply amazing. Yeah.
New York, which is, there's something I always tell people. You have to remember 2 things. One, San Diego is not a Comic-Con. It says they're a promotional con. You can't. Sure, there's some people who get to go into Hall H and they get to hear the announcements, but Chris Hemsworth is going to be there to promote The Extraction, the next movie, but you can't meet him. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you have New York, which came out, and they have a lot of circuit guests, but they did announce Chris Evans and Ewan McGregor. Hey, we had Ewan McGregor. We were the first Comic-Con in America that wasn't a Star Wars celebration to have Ewan McGregor. So it's pretty exciting what we have. Even, I'm amazed how many people want to meet Ming-Na Wen, how many people want to meet Katie Sackhoff. And Katie's been to Houston. She's been to Dallas. But, she was the star on The Mandalorian this season.
Yes.
It really was, yeah.
And you've got down there, Barry, if you look on your screen down the bottom, when you get over to Barry Lowen, he's been to San Antonio once before at a small circuit show. He is in the costume the majority of the time. He's a stuntman. Most of what Pedro Pascal does is he goes into a sound booth and says his lines.
Yeah.
Because, he never had the mask off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but Barry's a real cool guy, and we have him. And you got to look at what if you go back a little bit, it's the other Barry, and we've done something very unusual at our show. Barry and Asher Angel, Billy Batson from right there. They're free. They're free.
I was seeing that. They're complimentary.
Yeah, for free.
Now, you still have to get tickets for those? You just show up in line. How is that going to work? Yeah.
So, we have 3 buildings at the expo grounds. We got Expo Hall number 1, which is the big building with the vendors and the merchants and the artist alley, and that's where we do photos and autographs. Right across from that, we have the superhero car show, and we put a stage in there this year where we've got bands playing, musical groups that'll be there, along with the Texas Bluesmen, guys that do the it's late, guys. I have give me a break. That do the Blues Brothers.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So they'll do their routine, and we got the American Bombshells are doing their routine. They salute to the military, and they do great a cappella, do country, do a whole bunch of things. And then we've got a Beatles group, and then we've got a 60s Mania. They'll do a lot of Rolling Stones, Beatles, and a lot of stuff. But Asher will be there. We have him 3 hours every day. He's going to do 2 hour and 15-minute sessions. One session he'll do autographs, and another session he'll do selfies, and then he'll have a panel each day, and then the same we'll do with Barry. So, this is a great opportunity to meet him. He is. I'm excited. His dad is his agent, and we're coming in. And we're excited to have him. But name a major con that was bringing people in, and you got to see him and get autographs for free.
I'm gonna go with no one.
I've actually never heard of that. I legit have never heard of that before.
No, they don't. They don't.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that, and
I think last year Ted tried to give away autographs, but I don't think anyone was taking them.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Ted. Hope you're still watching.
If he's not watching, I hope he hears that later.
I mean, I got to say, he is listed as a guest on the guest page, which is kind of cool to see that there. So, how about that?
That should be.
Yeah, he's a moderator.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he's great.
I assume all the panels will be in the Coliseum back there again this year, or
no.
You're gonna do them in.
You're gonna see the big panels, and it's subject to change, but it looks like Elizabeth will be on Friday. Mm-hmm. Saturday will be Bree, and then our 2 folks from Game of Thrones will be Saturday, and then Sunday will be Haley, and that's as far as we've got. But when you get people like Ming Na Wen, Katie, Tony Parker, Chukwudi Iwuji.
Yeah.
This is his first Comic-Con ever.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Loved him in Guardians.
I mean,
Yeah.
do you know where this guy went to college?
No.
No, actually.
He's Nigerian,
Yeah.
and he went to Yale.
Wow.
Really?
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
he's a pretty smart dude, and so we're getting him. You know, one thing we've prided ourselves over since I got into this business back in 2018 was bringing people to the show that it's the first time for fans to meet. I mean, when we put Andrew, who's never done, anything, we put him on sale. His autographs all sold out in an hour.
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe.
I'm not even shocked at all.
Yeah, so it's pretty exciting, and I'm excited to meet him. I don't want to be derogatory, but we had the crazy one in 2019. I'm not naming any names. Some blonde-haired woman that liked to swim with fish.
No, you're talking about. Yeah, we'll stop there. So, yeah.
Sorry.
But you go back to our very first show and the story is very unique because was really going to be called Celebrity Comic-Con, and then just when we were about to announce the lawsuit was being settled with San Diego Comic-Con and Salt Lake City Comic-Con, and it had been going on for years. And basically, the judge said that San Diego had the right. It was really just kind of a punishment, but between the two fighting. But I didn't want to get caught up in that, knowing if they were going to sue anybody that had the name Comic-Con. So we changed it from Celebrity Comic-Con to Celebrity Fan Fest, and we moved on. And then, we evolved post-COVID after losing 2 shows into the Superhero Comic-Con and Car Show. So I'm excited about the car show because we got a whole bunch of really cool vehicles that we have now. You see, like this Captain America Jeep. That you just see that there, but when you see the top size, this thing is great as hell. Our Wonder Woman vehicle. We have a Joker mobile. We have what else do we got?
Mystery Machine. It looks like.
Well, we have the ones that are there. I'm talking about all the new ones this year.
Nice.
Here's some breaking news for you.
Oh, here we go.
We are in the back around the stage and everything. For a first time ever, Tesla is coming to our show.
Yeah, wow.
Hey!
Have all their models there where people can get in and see them.
Wow, that's so cool.
That'll probably be the only time I can get
cool
personally
is
into a
that?
Tesla. Yeah. So, yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, they reached out to us, and because they don't go to car shows.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're coming to this one. So there's
Amazing.
another first for you.
Nice.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Well, Bob, I remember the first Celebrity Fan Fest, and this has come a long way. So, and I appreciate you letting us be a part of this. I mean, I remember us just grabbing a table, setting up, just recording a show, and you jumping in there for a little bit with us too at that first Celebrity Fan Fest. And
You mean the most luxury
yeah,
Comic-Con held in a 5-star luxury?
I know it was. God, it was amazing. I don't know how that. It just. I mean, when we looked at that setup, like you said, one of the biggest selling points was, you're going to have it in. It's going to go smoothly, and it was awesome. It's just everything went great. There was no
Were you
complaints.
there at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night still?
I don't know if we stayed that late, but I heard that Jason Momoa just walked the grounds at one point.
That's right.
Yeah.
He goes to me and he says, "Hey, Bob, come on, let's go walk out on the floor."
Yeah.
I'm going, "Oh shit! I got to get a whole bunch of cops."
Yeah.
Make sure that nobody, did anything crazy. And we went out there because he spent $7,000 and he bought swords
Yeah.
I think he wanted to bring some gifts home for his kids because it was. His
I'm not shocked at all.
and he's standing there and everybody's watching. They're taking pictures, and then he turns around to everybody and he says, "Bob, take a picture, but everybody get your cameras. Let's take a group selfie."
Yeah.
I would love to have Jason back. Jason is one of the coolest people on the planet.
Yeah,
He really is. He was so much fun at that panel too. You've had nothing but fun stories. So I'm like looking forward to the next Aquaman movie to start promoting, and maybe we'll see him back here hopefully. So we'll love it.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Yeah. Well, Bob, thank you again for joining us. Thank you for bringing this lineup of celebrities to San Antonio. And growing up, in this town, I never personally thought I would see the day, and now I'm seeing a lot of them every year, and I appreciate it. So,
well, I'm happy that what we're doing in San Antonio and making the city, really a big place for Comic Cons because pop culture. I don't know if you guys made it to the San Antonio Museum of Art last year. I teamed up with Tony Parker.
I was gonna say Mike did, yeah.
Ted got me there for the opening night actually when y'all started it.
How did you like the display?
Oh, it was amazing. I still have pictures of it. I think I took a picture with every statue that was in there in that thing. That was a blast. That was super cool. Had a real good time there.
Yeah, it was. When I talk about doing things as being firsts, I have 7 companies, of which PMX Events is one, and then there's 3 nonprofits we do. And but last year, Tony Parker is a good friend of mine, and Tony collects statues as well. We collect statues, and we were over at his place, and we started talking about it, and we put it together, and it was a great outcome. Tony just bought a big giant Venom, like 13 feet tall. And then at the show, at one of our sponsors booths, we're going to have a Peacemaker. I think nice. I'm going to decide if we get it in time. We're going to bring over the CP3. I know. CP3. Anyways, he talks and does all the things. He does all the mannerisms for the character. But there's a lot more statues and things that we're going to bring out. Places where people can take photo ops at the event. And anyways, and also I have right in the back next to Heroes and Fantasies, the comic book shop here in town.
Sure, yeah.
We put up a big 20-foot area, and we're going to have that we had at the Heroes and Villains. We had the comic book Captain America, and we had the comic book Wonder Woman. Remember that at the museum. So those are going to be there, and fans can take pictures there. There's going to be so much for people to do.
That's awesome.
I think I even saw there's just a huge free arcade for people. Everyone just go play stuff.
Did you see the arcade last year?
No,
I don't remember seeing it last year.
I was not able to make it last year.
That was in the So we had so we just had our final meeting today on the location, but in the center of the building area, there's going to be 64 machines, like 24 pinballs. But I just acquired. Yes, you did, Legacy of Nerd. We're going to bring in Mario Kart. I bought some Mario Kart games. We've got Nitro trucks. We have NASCAR. There's going to be 18 sit-down driving games there to play. And all I think there's 64 machines.
Awesome.
Okay.
And it's like going to Dave & Buster's, except for you don't have to pay for it.
All right. So full disclosure, if you're looking for me at this event, that's exactly where I'm going to be the entire time. So.
Yeah.
Just remember.
Yeah.
Stay on the game for 2 games, and then let somebody else get on there. I had people right when we made the announcement of the free play arcade was coming back this year. They said, "Well, you got to get these little kids." There's this brat kid.
Hey, look, I'm old school. Well, winner stays, loser pays. That's how I did it. So you want me off the machine, you got to beat me. That's the way I go.
Even though it's free, JC pulls a quarter out and puts it on the top.
You put it on this thing anyway, man. Back to my diversions days, man. So it's the way to do it. So
that's awesome.
So
Bob,
you almost need a 3-day pass because there's gonna be so much to do.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it.
That sounds amazing.
I had a guy who had spent about $5,000, and I go through the purchase logs, on our GrowTech site, and I'm thinking he only bought a ticket for Saturday, and I'm saying, you realize you're never going to be able to get in every line.
No,
he's coming from Puerto Rico by himself. Maybe if you had okay, you and your girlfriend, she goes over, gets in this line, or you're in this line. And I mean, I said, you're never going to be able to, I said, and his name was about this long, Julio Macho, hey, hi, ho.
Yeah.
And so I read out to him and I said to him, I said, how can you expect to get all these from 10 to 8 p.m.? You will be in nothing but lines. You'll never see any of the show. So I reached out to him, and he said, well, I was going to buy more, but Elizabeth was sold out on Saturday. And anyways, I said, listen, you're flying in. And people don't take this and think it's because I said it. I'm doing it for everybody. I said, you spent $7,000.
Man.
Call customer service. Tell them Bob said, move some of your stuff to Friday, and I'll give you a comp Friday admission ticket so that you can have a good time. And he did. And then I was able to take one of my embargoed Elizabeth Olsen, and now he gets to see Elizabeth Olsen.
That's really cool.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
I mean, I'm going to leave you guys with this, and I know but I grew up being a comic book collector. At the end, now, do any of you guys know how old I am? And you guys watching on the feed, I mean, if anybody of you know how old I am, I'd say you wouldn't believe it. In March, I turned 70 years old.
Wow.
I would not have guessed that.
Bob. I never would have guessed that.
I would have said 50s, yeah.
Yeah.
I discovered the fountain of youth. It's called fast food.
Yeah.
Young people.
I'm going to live forever.
Eat fast food. That's why they're young.
Yeah. Well.
Anyways, I was growing up, and I was the oldest of 8 kids. Grew up during, the Vietnam War and major recessions. Okay, Jason, I would have said 60s. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it was Price is Right, at least she didn't go over.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was the oldest of 8 kids, 7 boys, 1 girl. And my brother, I'm going off to college. It's the first one. Nobody in my family had ever gone to college. And aunts, uncles, mother, father. My father was in the Navy. My mother was a waitress. And I had collected Batman, Superman, and Detective comics. Detective. Do you remember Detective?
Mm-hmm.
That
started.
Yeah.
That was started.
And anyways, and I got they were 10 cents. I collected them, and I had an Army footlocker at the base of my bed, and they were all stacked in meticulous order. My brother Rich comes in, and he's someone smart ass, and he was, a number 2 versus a number 1. There's a lot of competition. He says, Bobby, you're a college boy now. You can't be carrying on with comic books. I threw them all away. In a show of commitment to college.
Yeah.
And I threw millions of dollars away. And that's kind of led into the collection of all the cars. So I have 57 movie cars now. 57.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm sorry?
To
So one of us a DeLorean, right? You can try and go back in time.
Yeah, you can go back in time if you what's faster going,
You see, Mike, Big Mike, my DeLorean has been modified.
Oh,
you know how I modified it?
What'd you do?
By the way, do you guys allow cussing on here?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Within reason, sure.
Yeah.
I sent the DeLorean back and had the time circuits remade. I made them take 2020 in 2021 out of there because nobody wants to fucking ever go back to that.
I love it. Yes,
For sure.
You're not wrong at all. You're not wrong.
That's a part of our past we never want to know.
nobody wants to go back to those.
So, anyways,
No.
that's my DeLorean joke. But
I like it.
and one of the big purchases I did in the beginning was I bought the Ecto-1 off of it came off of the Sony lot.
Wow.
And I really found out about it because Ernie Hudson is a good friend of mine. Remember, have you all seen the Ernie Hudson distracted driving commercials on the air?
Yes. I imagine you had something to do with them too. Yeah.
We got word today. So it was submitted to, they're called the Telly Awards. And they're very prestigious. It's not like they give gold, silver, and platinum. They only have silver and bronze. And but they don't give a silver out in every category. It has to be exceptional. Anyways, for a public service announcement, I can't wait to talk to Ernie. Yeah, he would have been at the show this year, but filming Ghostbusters.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he's won these awards. I'm gonna make sure we get a second trophy for him, so he's gonna enjoy it a lot. But, anyways, so I bought the Ecto-1. It was $110,000. I put $20,000 into it with new tires, new painted, changed all the lighting on top to digital lighting. I have now turned down the last 3 offers were for $300,000, another one $300,000, and I just turned down a $350,000 offer. You can't get these things anymore. I mean, the real ones.
Yeah.
Right.
And plus, on the dashboard, mine is signed by all 4 Ghostbusters,
Man.
including
priceless.
Mr. Murray.
Yeah.
And I imagine AJ and I was there chatting. He might have gotten to sit in that one time. I remember because I remember Teddy did an interview with Ernie Hudson one year, and his son got to AJ and his son got to sit in there and take a picture.
That's so
lucky
cool.
Kid. Yeah. So.
I think we're going to have a whole bunch of the Ghostbusters local there working it again and taking pictures with people. I mean, people really enjoy it. It's until Ernie really, I think it was Ted first said to me or somebody, this is the most popular Ghostbuster in the world is Ernie.
Yeah.
Because he has been the most friendly. Terry, he is a gentleman. He is great guy. He's very kind. You'd never know he's 78 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was like that.
And when we had, I think Ted was hosting him when we had him back in.
So it was last year, wasn't it?
No, it was 21. It was December of 21.
Yeah.
About 2 or 3 weeks after Afterlife came out, we had him up there at the Evo Theater, and
That's
you've
right.
never seen anybody like Ernie. He talks to everybody, and he looks them in the eye. I mean, we had kids that they were handicapped, that had learning disabilities. They were excited to see him, and he looks everyone in the eye, and he treats them with such love and respect. He is one of my favorite people in the world.
That's awesome. That is amazing.
Ernie is one great guy, and he had a tough time through COVID because, he lost his dad and a brother to COVID.
Oh, that's wow. That's tough. Yeah.
Well, the Superhero Comic-Con and Car Show, you can visit PMX events for tickets, buy your photo ops, autographs, July 7th, 8th, and 9th in the Freeman Expo Halls here in San Antonio. And again, if you've already bought your photo ops, get your tickets before you miss out. There's no way you're going to get in. So
and come get screamed at by MJF.
Yes.
Yeah. Why not?
Sure.
Yeah. Do that.
I don't know what Jill's going to do, but
she'll be nicer, I think.
Yeah, I think in person she'll be.
It's hard to be meaner than MJF for sure. Yeah. So, final thing I'll say before we head out, as a proud UTSA alum, thank you for helping to bring Frank Harris back for one more year to move to the AAC. I saw you on TV for that, and I do appreciate it. So
Frank called me just about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
We had the high school sports awards last night. He was there with Coach Traylor, and I don't know if you saw this, but in the they're moving to the AAC this year, but
yes,
they're picked to win the AAC in their first year there.
I believe it. Frank's
That's
a big
great.
reason why. And I actually ran into him at Costco, the one that built by our house, and said, "Thank you for coming back. My wife's a Texas State alum, so I really need those bragging rights to continue. So I'm glad you're back." So,
He's
Yeah,
not wrong.
they announced today that game is going to be on ESPN Plus,
yep.
and then the first week of the season against Houston, it's going to be on Fox One national telecast.
Oh,
Nice.
that's
Love
so
it.
cool.
Going to be
Love
a
it.
lot of great coverage for the Roadrunners.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
And of course, we'll have
Yeah.
about 50 or 60 of them out there. I don't know if you noticed them. There was all these giant guys last year in the show because of my support. I've got 49 of those guys on my payroll
Whew.
Nice.
for our,
Wow.
our NIL fund.
Was that part of the NIL deal? Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's good for them.
Well, appreciate you supporting it because, I mean, I remember being a student and voting for them to increase our fees so that we could get a football team. So it's amazing how much far that's come. So, yeah. And Legacy Nerd just said it right now. Thank you for making San Antonio more fun.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
thank you.
We
Yeah, that's
appreciate it.
just so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to make it fun for Texas because
Yeah.
there's a little competition between Comic Palooza and Dallas Fan Expo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's fun competition.
It is.
it's,
It's better here.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was when I saw Facebook videos cut several weeks ago with Homelander, Anthony Starr begging people to come down to the show on Saturday afternoon when the hallways were empty.
Ooh.
It's a show that's fallen on hard times. I really think there can be enough for everybody, but you just can't have the same circuit guests at every show. You've got to find a way to make your show exclusive and unique. And I think that's what we've done with the car show, with bringing the music, with the free play arcade, and then bringing in the mega stars. But it's all up. But it's all up to the fans. They have to show the support for it, and when they do, we'll keep building a bigger, better show.
All right.
I like it.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Yeah, thank you again.
Bob, for
Thank you
coming
so
on. We
much, Rob.
appreciate
We
it.
really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Legacy and Nerd, for making San Antonio more fun. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's nice not to have to travel to Houston or Dallas.
Yeah,
It is.
that's
It
true.
is. It's expensive enough.
It's really
right?
kind of funny because people say to me, "Why isn't the parking free? We can't afford $15." And I said, "You drove to Houston to a show?
Yeah.
Hey,
You worry about $15?"
that's a really good point.
Thank you again, Bob. We appreciate it.
right.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care. Good luck. We'll see you. In less than a month or about a month
Less
away
than a month.
from.
Yeah.
A little less than a month.
Let me see here. I have a countdown clock. You have my screen up there?
About 30 days.
Yes.
so.
Well, what's today? Today is the
Eighth.
8th.
It's the 8th.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, yeah. From tomorrow, it's 28 days.
All right.
4 weeks from
Can't wait.
tomorrow.
cannot wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Hope
gonna
to
be
see y'all there.
All right.
Thanks, we
Thank
will.
you again,
Thanks,
Bob.
guys.
Appreciate it. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Right.
All right.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
It is going to be a blast. Thank you again, Bob, for coming on the show.
Sure.
I know. Yeah, that's what nerds and geeks do, right? We just get off on a tangent. So
Yeah.
30 minutes turned into an hour, but well worth it. I had to just get that question right off the bat. How much of an asshole is MJF in the negotiations? I'm glad he just jumped on it.
That was a good question. That was a really
Appropriate
good question.
response. Money talks, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
He was a lot of fun, man. That was so cool to have him. Yeah. He's a
Yeah,
really cool
so
guy.
he's such a good guy in person. Can't wait to see him again. And if we set up a table, hopefully he gets on there as well.
that'd be
And
great.
full disclosure, my wife's birthday is actually on the 6th of July, so I'm going to see if I can get a photo op just for MJF to yell at her if possible. So we'll see. The next
It'd be the best birthday ever. No kidding.
All right, we'll just kind of move on here with the full-on wrestling portion of the show. Things we want to talk about. I do want to mention, at least on the wrestling news, we did ask Bob about it right off the bat. Yes, the Iron Sheik passed away. Unfortunately, was 81 years old.
81.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss his social media rants more than
Dude.
anything. I swear to God. So, but it's funny that you think about wrestling in the '80s and in the early '90s. He's a big part of that. He was really the guy that jumped on the whole Persian Gulf thing and bringing like a foreign country as a heel.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool. And when you look back on it, it's like, yeah, that was actually smart. Jump on that, So,
I told a coworker, it's funny how you look at wrestling when we first started watching it. You hate you're supposed to hate, you like you're supposed to like, but then when you look back on it, when you really get into it, you're thinking, no, wait, the bad guys were genius, man. They knew how to get that hate. I was like him, Roddy Piper, those guys. I was like, no. When you look back on it, they were genius because they knew that you paid money just to see them get beat up, and that was how they made their money, and that's genius. So I was like, that's amazing to me.
And I just also love in general that the Iron Sheik was like a legit Olympic athlete, legit tough man, legit strong man.
Yeah,
like, he was just legit.
And then he won a gimmick battle royal because he was too old to get thrown over the top rope too.
And one thing I will say, like, I never got to meet him, but what's really cool is how much, unless your name's Hulk Hogan, everyone had nothing but nice things to say about him. like all the fan interactions, I like, everyone is like saying he was the greatest guy, one of the nice guys I ever met, and all that kind of stuff. And it's really cool to see.
Yeah. Another bit of wrestling news, and this one is Forbidden Door is starting to look really, really good because Bryan Danielson versus Okada. Mike, you want to make a pick?
Mother effing midnight.
Do I want to make a pick? I have an idea.
Yeah,
but I'll save it till we talk about it because my pick is this might be one of the tied for match of the year.
Yeah.
Only because, as Tommy knows, and I don't know if you know, JC, the second match has also been announced officially.
Yeah.
And it is Ospreay versus Omega.
Yeah.
So those two matches alone,
those two matches alone are worth the buy for the whole pay-per-view.
Yes. For sure. I cannot wait to log into Tommy's New Japan World Cup.
I knew you were gonna say that. Wait, hold on. But did you guys see Wrestle Kingdom? Did you see Omega and Ospreay's first match? Did you get to watch that yet?
Yeah, it was a while
ago. Dude, if they just to know that we're getting that twice in the same year is insanity to me. So I can't wait.
Also, I'm going to make a bold claim. MJF is going to be on that show, right? Because he came out after that last pay-per-view.
He has to be. He has to
talking trash about it, calling it an indie fetish. I love this is what's so great about him. Except that Great O'Khan guy, he really pops me. Like that little comment he throws in while he's trashing.
Yeah,
I would love to see like Great O'Khan show up, help MJF in any way, shape, or form, and then like they go out drinking afterwards because
it's the pictures from like
I don't know why I want that now. I would like to see MJF and
Great O'Khan.
Yeah,
his past, like when he's in Vegas and stuff.
Like it's almost like his name and gimmick don't fit, and that's kind of why it works better because it doesn't look like it works.
And speaking of other big matches, I saw Moxley put it out there. Is this coming up at Dominion? Is it Moxley and the Notorious 187?
187 Homicide.
Yeah.
It's actually Dominion just passed. El Desperado called him out because they wrestled before and said he wants another shot at him. It's going to be July 4th, I believe, in Japan. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Those are good because I like those ideas he's throwing out there because if you're going to talk about someone who's going to defend New Japan, Takahashi probably be one of my first ones. Naito would be fun.
I think Naito would defend it just because he's like, I don't like you talking bad about this place. Only I get to do it. Naito has that big brother energy. Like no one gets to beat them up but me.
But also the interaction of Naito being Naito with MGF because like we kind of saw on Dynamite this past week, when MGF has someone he can actually play off of and who can match him in either the promo or the charisma, it's all the much better. So
yeah,
for sure.
It's gonna so that's gonna be awesome.
All right, and I will say this for all the gusto Forbidden Doors getting, if Toriano's not on it, it's gonna be shit. It's not gonna be a 5. I'm just gonna throw it out there right now.
I worked at Toriano like I always worked at Okada.
This is a 4.99, but
4.99 Toriano.
It was almost perfect. It was right there.
It's not landing your dismount at the Olympics. You gotta just finish to get the perfect score. All right, let's move into Impact Against All Odds, the Impact Plus show that's actually taking place tomorrow night. And this one actually is stacking up to be pretty good. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some major fireworks here on this one. I know we're running a bit on time here, so I'm just going to kind of go through the matches here. And I think we might just pick like some of the title matches and maybe that number one contender one because that is interesting. And because it's a multi-man match, I want Mike to suffer a bit. But here we go.
I suffer on those too, but here you go.
Anyway, Eddie Edwards
Of my
versus
existence.
Eddie Edwards versus Frankie Kazarian.
Fire.
We're getting Trinity and Deonna Purrazzo against Giselle Shaw and Savannah Edwards.
Fire.
An Ohio Street Fight, The Design versus OVE.
Mega fire.
Yeah. Dog collar match, Killer Kelly versus Monster Slamovich.
This is actually my dark horse match of the night that I think is going to be amazing. Because I told Mike this, like I am vastly becoming a massive Killer Kelly fan.
Yeah.
Now, this next one, if you can follow along, is an 8-4-1 match for the number one contender for the Impact World Champion. So here's how this works.
Is that the area code of where the show's taking place?
You know, I don't know. I haven't looked that up, but here we go. I mean, I was like, the math kind of adds up. Bully Ray, Jonathan Gresham, Heath, and Nick Aldis are taking on Mike Bailey, Moose, PCO, and Rich Swann. So it starts off as a 8-man tag match.
Okay.
Whoever wins that first fall, then those 4 on that team, it's a fatal 4-way for the number one contender. So you work with your teammates to get the opportunity,
And then you beat them.
and then you try and win. You know, who to be the best one on the team.
Okay. Now that I understand how that works, I'm all in. Just I was so confused.
I don't know if we're making my predictions, but I'll go as far to say not Bully Ray.
Does anybody want to make a prediction on this one? Because mine is actually going to be Jonathan Gresham.
My prediction is not Bully Ray.
Okay.
I was actually going to say Mike Bailey. So we are literally on opposite ends of the spectrum right now.
Boy,
the first fall will tell us who has a 25% chance of being right. Unless, of course, Scott Steiner gets in, then that chance drops.
Okay, Tommy.
He's the special referee. Swear to God.
Tommy, you. I know I do this to you all the time, so I'm going to say you beat me to it.
Yes!
As you were saying,
I finally beat Mike to a joke.
I was going to say because you don't even count, so we're going to have a 30. So
either way, it's most disaster for someone that sacrificed against all odds. Against all odds, I was going to say against.
Oh, too good.
Oh my God, I keep laughing at that.
Super
I'm going to go Nick Aldis just because he's back.
That's actually a really fair pick. I can't lie.
He might throw him in since he's kind of come back and he's big for them.
True.
Right. Digital Media Championship, Joe Hendry defending against Dirty Dango. Tommy, what are you thinking?
I'm Deonna Purrazzoing this until he loses. I don't care. I'm picking Joe. Look, that's what I'm calling it from now on. And I know Roman Reigns at the time. No, Deonna Purrazzo was the original tribal chief. I don't care what anybody says. So until he loses, I'm Deonna Purrazzoing this. It's Joe Hendry.
I'm kind of in agreement. I think we're on that too, Mike. Joe Hendry.
Yeah. I think it's going to be fun because again, Hendry and Dango. I love them, but yeah,
I love this title. Isn't the most important, but damn it, it's the most fun.
Yeah.
Let's see here. X Division Championship, Trey Miguel against Chris Sabin.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Damn it!
Can you ever count Sabin out of one of these?
No, you can't. That's the problem.
I mean, I think I'm going to go Trey Miguel, but not 100% sure.
Man,
I don't know, man.
See, it's funny you say that dog collar match could be a match of the night. This one might rival it. It's going to be
cool, this could this could too. And the dog collar match, if it's not a match, it's my dark horse match of the night because it could be like a lot better than everyone's expecting. But yeah, this could absolutely just steal the show because
I'm gonna say Trey Miguel only because I think the plan for them really is for him to cash in his option C later this year.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Trey Miguel to do that. So Tommy, what about you?
Yeah, I'll go Trey Miguel. I mean, at this point, Chris Sabin, he's done it all. I think now he's like in his Chris Jericho phase of his career. He's making everybody else look good
without unnecessary painmaker alter egos. So.
That's true. Yeah. Well, and honestly, if I want to say it that way, I got to argue Chris Sabin's always been in that phase in his career because he's always made everyone he wrestles look good. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Bertie, dude, I love it when he does that. He's my dude.
But he's
The
right there with
Impact
you.
Tag Team Championship, ABC, which is Ace Austin and Chris Bay, going up against the Good Hands, which is Jason Hotch and John Schuyler, with Brian Myers in their corner. I'm sticking with ABC right here for this one. You know,
I mean, that pick's as easy as 1, 2, 3, right?
yeah, exactly. So,
Well done,
Tommy?
sir.
Yes,
It's unanimous. I'm also going.
right.
That was well done, my good sir. No perfect, no notes. Good job.
Now, it's interesting that the Chris Sabin got the X Division title shot today, and the other half of his Money City Machine Guns is getting the Impact World Championship shot. Steve Macklin against Alex Shelley.
It points.
Yeah,
It's somewhere there. Yeah.
somewhere there. Yeah. So, okay.
I'm going to stick with
right, Mike.
Macklin.
Okay.
Again, similar. Like, would I be surprised if Alex won? No, or Shelley won. But for now, I'm going to stick with Macklin.
My only problem is Shelley deserves it, man. He deserves a world title at this point. Damn it!
Are we officially counting these picks?
I mean, I might. I'm planning to. So,
Okay.
yeah. But I'm going with Steve Macklin. Yes, Shelley deserves it, but I think at this point in his career right now, they're better suited being a tag team with Chris Sabin right now.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to stick with Steve Macklin on this one. So.
I'll stick with Steve Macklin. I don't like this timeline.
So just because it's sort of connected to what we talked about, did you see what Ray posted in the chat? Apparently, the Final Girl Festival in Austin got canceled.
Whoa!
What? Really?
What?
The one, well, I mean, he just has a picture that says canceled. The one that was supposed to have Mickey James and Lita and
That sucks. I legit plan to go to that.
When was that going to be?
July 1st, 2nd. It was that first weekend.
Wow.
That's why I took that weekend off. I was trying to remember what I took that weekend off for, and that was it. I was going out there for that.
Well, maybe we need it. We'll look into that and report back and check our social medias. But that,
No wonder. We'll see. We're going to dig in and see if we can find out a reason why that was canceled.
Because there are actually a lot of actresses there I was legit fans of, that I wanted to see. So, okay.
Sure. All right, well, Impact Against All Odds this Friday, tomorrow night, June 9th, 7 p.m. Central Time on Impact Plus. Going to be taking place at the Ohio Expo Center and State Fairgrounds in Columbus, Ohio. Also, if you don't have Impact Plus, and why don't you? It's only $7.99 a month. You can also purchase this event on Fight TV for $10. So, pretty cool. They're doing that too as well. If you don't have Impact Plus, just want to watch the show. So, all right, and now this one has been anticipated. I saw a lot of you have been sitting in the chat waiting on this one, talking about it before we even went live.
Yep.
Mission Pro Wrestling True Colors, MPW True Colors, and we got a little bit of a sponsorship hand in this, and we'll get to that when we talk about that match. But guys, this show, I mean, this MPW has been killing it this year. This has been highly anticipated since it was announced at their last event a couple months ago. We're going to get the answer to some matches that people will be like, who are you going to pick? Who are you going to pick? Well, we'll find out. So we're going to start this off. Tiffany Nieves versus Emmy Camacho, and I believe this is a #1 contenders match too. Yeah. So, Tommy, what you got on this one?
Tiffany Nieves. I will bet against her when I see her actually lose. So no, not gonna let that happen.
Okay. No. All right, Mike.
Real quick, shout out to Clint and another Mike on social media. Clint is Tiffany's biggest fan. He's the one who drove 17 hours a show or two ago to come see her. And Mike is the guy who I'm pretty sure started the Emmy era hashtag that she's kind of taken on and used. So they've been going jokingly back and forth about this since it was announced. These two were on the Mission Pro on a Mission show about 2-3 weeks ago. A lot of respect for each other, but we've talked about Tommy. We've been at the shows. They don't hold back.
They don't. No.
Tiffany takes everything personal. I guess that's the way she motivates herself.
Yeah.
And Emmy comes from a wrestling family, and she's Hispanic, so we know she's not backing down.
Nope.
So this is going to be a fight.
Mission Personal Wrestling.
Yeah. I am picking Tiffany, just because I think she's been on a little more of a streak there. Emmy and any related Camachos, please don't beat me up if you see me. It's just a pick. that I think will happen.
Well, I've never been on Angel Camacho's good side, so this should be no different, So
I mean, that's everyone in Texas, though. So
no, La Rosa never likes. Oh no, wait, she's in Puerto Rico. Never mind.
yeah,
Take it back.
technicality. You see Brian in there for Camacho.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good match.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, and I'm
they're gonna
joining
kill it.
Brian on that. I know everyone's talking
Really?
about Tiffany being the favorite. I think Emmy's going to pull something off. I think it's going to be a bit of an underdog winning this one here and getting the title.
Mike,
shot,
I swear to God, JC's right again. I swear.
Right. By the way, JC, I slipped you that little payment. You know who to pick in the main event, so we can make sure it happens.
Can we do middle fingers on this show? I don't know if we've done middle fingers on this show because I'll throw up a couple right now. But anyway,
You might be able to type it in the chat. I don't know about that.
You don't know who I'm picking.
Yeah.
ballin', might I add? Shit.
All right, let's move on here. JP Harlow versus Black Swan. I believe this is one of those men's revolution one thing going on here. So big time here. And I got to go JP Harlow on this one. So I mean,
we know you do.
Go shows. Yeah.
Black Swan's making her debut for Mission Pro.
Yep.
And I'm going to go with my heart pick and say I hope Black Swan beats the hell out of JP Harlow. She has a legit dance background. Hence the Black Swan character. I hope you dance all over his face.
Literally.
Put on some tap shoes and some hard shoes, and just dance all over his face. I'm going to pick Black Swan. I'm sure JP will find a way to cheat, but I don't care.
Oh, you know what? My wife tap dances. Maybe she can bring her shoes too, and they can both tap dance on his face.
Just have him ready at Oh, I thought you were going to let him.
Tommy, is that what you're doing too, or
Please, Black Swan. Are you kidding me?
Hardcore Harlow.
Ryan, me and you, bro. Me and you.
I will never be okay with that name.
Just throw out the fact that the only thing JC knows about Harlow is he's a Astro fan and brought a trash can one time, and that's all he's needed.
That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know.
Like Harlow could have brought puppies to the ring and kicked them, and JC's like, Astro fan, buddy. Sorry.
He would have been too.
2-time World Series champs. That's what we do it, man. So, yeah. So, we're going to talk about all the other bad shit we've seen wrestlers do. And you're gonna
there we go.
Thank you, Bernsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go, Bernsey.
What do you say, Black Swan? Bernsey doesn't know what's up. All right.
You're so wrong.
My World versus Brittany Brooks. I've heard a lot of good things about Brittany, and I know she's. I want to say she made her debut not too long ago with MPW, and people have been talking quite a bit about her. So that's who I'm going with on this one. Mike, what about you?
This is I thought this was going to be a debut. They said for both of them, but you may be right. Either way, though, funny story. Maya World sat next to us last show because apparently she had come down. They invited her. They let her sit ringside to enjoy the show. So I was a corner seat, and then right before the show started, I turned around and I wasn't the corner seat. So she survived sitting next to Tommy and Jason and me and Brandon. So
she's good. Then.
So she's good to go. She's good to go in a ring. So it is going to be a good one. I think I'm going to go with you and Brittany on this one, with not a lot of confidence per se. Haven't seen a lot of them, but they're up and coming here. I know Maya's out of Texas. I think Brittany Brooks is not, but not 100% sure. Yeah. But I'm going to go with her.
All right, Tommy?
I'm actually going to go with Maya on this one. I just got a feeling. But, again, if I'm wrong, that's cool.
And Burns, I see you there. Yeah, you heard me. All right. Just kidding, man. Appreciate the support. Mia Friday versus Queen Uju. Hope I said that right. Yeah.
I believe so.
Tommy, go ahead.
I'm going to tentatively say Mia Friday, but this will be a case of I'm not surprised if I'm wrong. But I don't know, because prior to Emmy beating her, she was on a bit of a win streak too. And I think that was one reason why we got this, meeting of win streak versus win streak with Tiffany and Emmy. So I'm gonna say Mia. She's really over with the crowd primarily because her mom leads them. I'm gonna go Mia.
All right, Mike.
I'm going to go with Queen Uju. We've seen them both before. They are both incredibly impressive. Mia, part of this growing contingent in indie wrestling of people that are apparently still in high school, but are just living the dream and going out and wrestling. So that's crazy. But I believe we learned last time that Queen Uju's out of Houston, and works out of Booker T's, and she's impressive. So I'm going to go with her. Also, not 100% confident, but I'm going to go there.
Brian has made his pick.
Yeah, TJ Frey.
That's good.
Eeny, meeny, miny. No.
We don't blame you.
This is a tough one. This one could go either way, and these two might steal the show. To be honest with you, with everything else going on, people, this could. So, but I'm gonna say Queen Uju on this one. I know, Brian, we're gonna disagree here on this one. That's fine, but I'm gonna go with Queen Uju for this one. I think. I forgot. It's hard to pick one, right? Like we all win this one, yeah. So
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Cio Nieves versus MJ Santana. I'm gonna go with MJ Santana on this one. Don't know why, just gut feeling. I feel like that's the beauty of shows like this. There's a lot of names people aren't too familiar with, and you're just like, hey, I want to see what they can do, and I feel like MJ Santana might make a name for herself with this.
That's how I felt about Danny Moe after she debuted at Mission Pro that one time, and then I was like, oh damn, it's awesome. And then when I got to meet her, I was like, I got to meet her this time, get a picture. So yeah, that's the great thing about these shows. I'm gonna agree, MJ Santana, but I can't confirm this because I've been trying to check. I don't know if Cia Nieves is related to Tiffany. I keep wanting to say that she is, but I'm not positive. So I don't know, Mike, if you've heard anything like that. If she is,
I don't remember. So Cia was supposed to debut, I think, at the February show, and things had come up. So this is I'm trying to remember because I followed the On a Mission shows. I think this is her technically debut in Mission Pro. She had taken some time off from wrestling, but it's coming back. MJ has been in a lot of MPW shows, so I think I'm going to go with MJ as well on this one. I don't know a lot about CEO, but they've brought in a lot of talent, and their first showings have been really impressive. So I expect a good match out of this.
All right, Alejandra Leon versus Shay Carmichael. Tommy, what do you got here? La
Leona. Because she's been on a tear recently, and in all seriousness, it's good to see, because I don't know if you guys remember the unfortunate drama she had like late last year and all that bull crap, and honestly, a lot of people thought she might just take time off wrestling and just not deal with it for a while, but no, the exact opposite happened, man. She hit the ground running, as far as especially the beginning of this year. She's been all over the place. She thinks she was in California a month or so ago, I think it was like last month. Mm-hmm. So I just think she's been on this tear lately of just getting her name out there, and good for her. So I can't wait to see what she does next. She still rocks with the DFW cartel, which I hope she gets out of that spell soon, because Natsuko's like the worst person of all time. But him and Logan Pettis are like neck.
I was just gonna say,
No, him and Logan Pettis, I hate them both with the intense passion, but I don't know who I hate more. I just know I hate them both. Anyway, I hope they watch this and hear me say that later.
I'm going with Alejandra Leon as well too for this one.
Same here.
Like I said.
Yeah. She's been great. She hasn't necessarily won every match she's had in MPW, but she has brought the fight that we started the whole thing with Tiffany and her, that match they had where they just decided this is going to be personal. Yeah, and they beat the crap out of each other. So she could bring it, and I don't want to bet against her right now. So.
But here's the thing. Alejandra is kind of like, to me, if this makes sense, kind of like watching almost like a Jerry Lynn match. Win or lose, you're gonna have a good time. That's just like that's the thing I feel like. I'm not trying to say she wrestles exactly like Jerry Lynn, nothing like that, because very few people actually do wrestle like Jerry Lynn. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no matter what she's doing in the ring, you're gonna have a good show. If she's on your card, basically, if I ever see her on a card, I was like, oh, that match is gonna be fun, no matter who she's facing. So. Mm-hmm.
All right, the MPW Tag Team Championship match, and while this match may be going on last, from what we understand, it shouldn't. Maybe we're a little biased.
Well,
but,
okay.
that's so,
Here's the thing, real quick.
yeah.
I think these two matches are gonna be connected somehow.
I'm sure.
So
I'm sure they will
get
be.
onto
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, four-way tag team match. Bougie Reality defending against Lady Bird and Gigi Ray versus Joey Hyder and Boss Baines versus Charity Kane and Danny B. Let me just keep on going with what I've been saying about MPW this year. The Men's Revolution, this is the show they take over. And so I've got, yes, as much as it's going to piss everybody off, you're going to have two men carrying the Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships when this night is over.
Well,
that is my
you're going to have Joey Hyder and Boss Baines. I don't know about two men. But just in case, I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but Boss Baines does not replace the toilet paper when it runs out. I have this on good authority. I've also heard that Boss Baines takes a penny, but never leaves a penny. Just thought I'd throw that out.
It's a bad economy. Can you blame the guy? I mean,
and for the record, he was never in Bullet Club. I just want to make sure I make that clear. He was never, ever in Bullet Club.
I believe you and Terry have the video proof if we need to confirm that.
Yes.
Anyway, Tommy, who are you picking on this one?
What did Mike say earlier? Anyone but Bully Ray? So, anyone but Men's Revolution. So, I would personally like to see Bougie Reality keep the belts personally, but I think they're both taking off as it is. But I would like personally to see them retain.
Okay,
that was just my thing. But legitimately, I can be 100% wrong as long as it's not.
Oh no!
A fifth team could randomly enter the ring and not even be announced and win this match, and I would not give a single damn.
What is this? Austin Theory or Brock Lesnar at a Money in the Bank? You can't just throw teams in at the end.
Well, maybe.
Well, why not? They got to. So.
All right, Tommy's going to Bougie Reality. Mike, what about you?
Again, I'm going to stick away from my head and your logic. And I'm actually, there's a team that I think would be the ones to take it out, Bougie, I think it's Moneybirds, which is Lady Bird and Gigi Ray.
That would be cool.
They have melded really well as a team, kind of thrown together, it seems like, but really kind of gelled and shown a lot of camaraderie and great teamwork. So I'm going to go with Moneybirds just because I can't pick the one I know you're picking because I just can't.
Now, that being said, my second choice would honestly be Kane and B because they're so freaking awesome. So, yeah.
They are really cool. And y'all did, you danced out to their song and got them all excited when y'all guys were... And
gave them our chair so they could watch those dastardly Men's Revolution because, if it means I have to stand for the rest of the show just so they can beat them up, I don't need a seat. Thank you very much. I can stand.
All right, and finally, the MPW Women Championship, I should say, Genocide defending against Jasmine Allure. This match, it will be sponsored by the Countdown City WrestleCast, everybody. Yes. As announced on Twitter, yes, we are sponsoring this match and looking forward to it. This is one we have been so excited about since it was announced weeks ago. It feels like months ago, maybe years ago.
It does feel like months ago, right? It feels like forever ago.
Yeah. But this one, this is a tough one. I know everyone's waiting on pins and needles to see what Mike is going to pick. Let's just start with Tommy's pick. His is the easiest one, right? So, what do you got?
That's hilarious, Genocide. I'm surprised that was a question that was asked out loud. So, yeah.
Hold on, Jason. Do you have that footage of that one?
I hate this.
I need to play that liner again.
Show. No,
not the liner. I'm pretty sure there's video somewhere of him cheering.
Can we stop? That shows up all the freaking time.
Damn, I don't have it uploaded.
I'll probably throw it up on Twitter here in a minute.
You will too. Yeah. Damn it.
I'm gonna say this. This is kind of keeping with how things turn, and ever since this one announced, I already said it. Hashtag and new. Jasmine Allure, you're walking out of this one with the MPW championship.
I don't care. I'll just be wrong. Shit. I don't give a damn. I don't give a.
So looking forward to this one, man. So
I don't care. I don't even care. So
Reggie's picking Genocide. Mike.
Come on, Mike. Just say it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Just come on.
I'm gonna kind of work my 1 minute warning in here real quick.
Oh my God!
Go for it.
Make the decision, okay?
Okay.
No. Okay, look. All jokes aside, the fun we have on here, I'm not lying when I say that these have been two of my favorites since I've started watching
Yeah, no, yeah, for real.
Mission Pro, and for different reasons. Jasmine being a young Hispanic woman, we had her on the show. She's an amazing heel character. If nothing else than what she does to Tommy on a daily basis at every show. Um, but also you can tell she loves wrestling. We heard in the interview, you know, think she does. Genocide is a legit beast. She carries that title proudly. The things she does with the community, with the kids at the shows, the things she's been a part of, that's one of the reasons that Thunder Rosa talks about these two. Like, I thought in the storyline that when Thunder Rosa was on, she was going to be kind of mad at Jasmine for costing the team for Mission Pro against Men's Revolution, and she honestly couldn't. Like, you can tell she is so proud of these two. And Tommy was at the show when she told about Genocide and what she did. And not to get too personal, but if you follow Genocide on social media, you know she's not had a great year with stuff, and you can tell it weighs on her at times. So these two have been tremendous people for MPW, wrestlers in different ways.
Yeah.
And I really am looking forward to this match. So what I'm going to say is this. I do think Jasmine is going to leave with the MPW title.
Fair enough.
I think that we're going to see the Men's Revolution show up at the ring before the main event that's supposed to be the four-way, and I think they may play into that final decision. But
That'll be interesting.
I do think Jasmine is going to leave with the title.
There it is.
I'm lone wolfing it. Well, me and Bernsey.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody else in the crowd, for the most part, will be hoping, praying, So, but there is a good prediction. Yeah, that's going to probably set up into the main event and puts more heat on the Men's Revolution too if they help Jasmine win for sure. So, yeah. So, all right. Once again, though, that match right there is sponsored by the Countdown City WrestleCast. We are proud to sponsor this match.
Which also means if you're watching on Title Match, you will hear us called out as the match goes on. By the announcers as well and at the show. So tune in, guys.
Yes, definitely tune in for that and support this entire promotion because it's pretty amazing what Thunder Rosa has put together.
JC, I don't know if you've heard this, but I'm going to throw this out there because I think you and Tina might find this interesting. I don't know if you are aware, Superfan Izzy has been training for wrestling. Apparently, she's back to do some work with Hybrid here, and came out officially that she's going to be known as Izzy Moreno.
Okay.
She did the announcing at the last Hybrid show, and she is going to be on the call on Title Match with Mission Pro for this show as well. So she will be there live, and she will be doing helping out with the announcing for the show on Title Match. Apparently, like Casey and a bunch of the guys there, have been helping her a lot and helping her in training. And she's another one very similar to Mia Friday. Similar to Billy Starks, who Izzy's apparently going to be going into her senior year, but is determined to, and a year early, but is determined to get in this world of wrestling. So I know many of you, if you've been watching a while, remember her from the Bailey Sasha feud in NXT, and how she kind of became a part of that in two of the most epic matches that wrestlers have ever had in the past
for sure
40 years.
Absolutely.
But so that'll be kind of cool. She'll be there and she'll be on the announce team for this show as well.
Very cool. So going into her senior year, man, I feel like we've seen her grown up in front of our eyes too, from being on the NXT shows and everything. And that is pretty awesome. I most likely will probably be watching this on Title Match. My daughter's got a 2-day tournament this weekend, and I don't know how early the start we're going to have on Sunday. So, but I'm probably going to be watching this one on Title Match, be listening to see how she does. But that is definitely somebody who it's amazing that that's kind of what you want in this business. You want that passion that she has to really go after and get it. So just remember, you got to graduate first, Izzy. If you need a math tutor, Mike's right here. You know, if
writing
you can help with
tutor.
that. Yeah, yeah, you got Tommy. So, and I'll help with the history portion of it too. So
There
yeah.
you go.
All right. All right. Oh, got something in the chat here. Bernsey, I follow her on Twitter. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do as well. So, and it's been remarkable seeing her, and not just for her fandom, but how she makes the trips, like travels to all these shows, like travels a Double or Nothing. Like her parents have been very supportive of her dreams. It's pretty awesome. That's all you can
Yeah.
ask for, you know.
Yeah.
So, all right, MPW True Colors taking place Saturday, June 10th, starting at 6 p.m. Central Time. The VIP opens at 5. We'll be at the Salvation Army Mission Corps. I have the address right here. 3802 Southwest Military Drive. And you can attend it in person there, or you can watch it on Title Match Network. Visit TitleMatchNetwork.com. Works very much like a WWE Network subscription. I believe it's only $9.99 a month, but the amount of access to independent wrestling, dare I say, all over the world is amazing.
Yeah.
Worth it to watch on Title Match. So definitely check it out if you don't have it already. So, all right, you know, Mike, I know you got your 1 minute warning in there, and it's been quite a show. Tommy, I don't know if you have one, but I don't plan to have one this time. So,
mine was just New Japan related, but I could do that some other time. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is already a great show. So no, I'm good, man.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's a good chance for us to wrap it up. Once again, thank you again to Bob Wills
What's up,
with
man?
the Superhero Comic-Con and Car Show. Again, MJF and Jade Cargill, and I believe Rikishi are going to be a part of that event, which is less than a month away. Visit pmxevents.com to buy your autographs, your photo ops, and your tickets for the event.
Get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
People,
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. And once again, of course, the Countdown City Geeks website, countdowncitygeeks.com. Now things have slowed down a bit. I'll probably get an article up there pretty soon because there's a lot I want to say as it relates to the Samurai Showdown video game and how far that has come in a few years. There's a lot I've been in my mind wanting to get off my chest about it, and just the support for it has not gone away.
I hate to do a freaking article for that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm so behind with that. You know, it's all the other writing crap I've been doing. So yeah, I gotta get an article.
And since we're talking about the geeks and the website, shout out to Legacy of Nerd being in here, the Star Wars Stuff podcast. They also have a Spurs Stuff podcast on there, General Kenobi's Bunker, the Ghost Heads. I don't know if I missed anybody, but a whole lot of great different groups, all under the Countdown City Geeks name. And you know, we're out here supporting each other. They were showing up in ours, we show up in theirs. Legacy of Nerd is like a superstar in the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger world.
Dude, he is
his YouTube channel is getting mentioned in things. He just I don't know. Can we share this? He had an interview with an original Ranger apparently, like yesterday or today or something.
I don't know if we can say it yet, but he did. Yeah.
Right, but there was stuff going on. So like, Star Wars stuff. We have a couple different Star Wars on there. The Ghost Heads. So just a bunch of great stuff over there, guys. And yeah, they're all working hard for their different. So whatever your particular interest is, like we got stuff there for you. So.
Another thing on a personal level, I want to shout out. As some of y'all know, I am a youth sports coach. My daughter and her team have qualified for the All-Stars. They're going to be going to the Pony League World Series next month, July 10th through 14th. And to help us get there, because it ain't cheap, got to pay some entry fees to get there, otherwise you've earned a spot. It only covers part of it. We're going to be having a raffle drawing on June 27th. First prize is a PlayStation 5, everybody.
PlayStation 5!
Second prize, a Burner and Kamal combo along with a $50 Visa gift card. And third prize is a Stanley Cup with a $25 Starbucks card.
That doesn't look like a hockey trophy.
That is $10 per. I know it's a type of cup. $10 per ticket. Send me a message on Twitter at Squint84, or even shoot the WrestleCast one at CCG_WrestleCast if you're interested in buying a raffle ticket. We'll get you on there. And support my daughter buying tickets because if she sells the most tickets on her team, she wins $100. So
nice.
Which we like to call gas money.
Big facts, my dude.
I thought that was college fund. Oh,
well, we're already putting money in.
How else they going to get her there?
Touche.
Star Wars podcast. Yes, there you go. Reach out to me at CCG_WrestleCast or at Squint84 on Twitter. You can just tweet at me directly, and I'll send you a message, and we'll work this out. And I'll get you my Cash App information.
He's probably also in the CCG chat.
Probably also as well, because there's so many places. Yeah, just hit me up. So, Thank you again, everyone. Next week we'll be recapping Impact Against All Odds and MPW True Colors as well. So,
and before we go, one last thing. Shout out to La Rosa Negra. Hope she gets well soon. I did hear she doesn't need surgery. She just needs to rehab and take it easy for the next few weeks.
Good news.
So,
yeah,
so
definitely
shout out
scary.
to her.
So,
yeah,
appreciate that. So. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Once again, thank you again to Bob Wills for joining us on the WrestleCast. Always great to have you. We look forward to seeing you. And my wife looks forward to getting insulted by MJF. So, down here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
Reach for the sky, boy.
Good luck to everyone at MPW this weekend.
Adios going through. Thanks, Sean.